of you may have seen The Secret, and some of you may not have. Some of you may have read the book. Some of you may not have. Some of you probably know quite a bit about law of attraction, and maybe some of you apply it to your lives. Some of you may be like, WTF, Andrea, what the hell are you talking about? What is law of attraction? Well, today I wanted to jump on so that I could share how the law of attraction ruined my life. Yes, you heard that right. The law of attraction played a big role in ruining my life. I'll be honest, it's not what you may think. It hasn't ruined my life since I learned about it. The first time I heard about law of attraction, I think I was in high school. I think I was around 17, or sorry, not just maybe just out of high school. So I was around 18. And I remember learning about it and just connecting with it right away. There was no doubt in my mind about quantum physics, about the law of attraction, or any of it. I think that comes from the fact that I've always been very open-minded, and I've always felt that there was more. There was more to the story than I was being told. And years ago, I always was drawn to like the metaphysical, and I always believed in life after death and ghosts and psychics and things like that. And I remember years ago at a garage sale, I believe it was, I had found a series of books, and I believe they were called something like the lessons and the stories from the masters of the Far East or something like that. And I got so enthralled with these books. They were books about these men from the Far East, and these books were written, I think, in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and it was about men who could do a bunch of almost magic. Like they could use their minds to like teleport, and these men were supposedly hundreds of years old. So although I didn't really know how that could be possible, I always just was drawn to that type of thing, and I really got enthralled with these books. Anyways, fast forward a few years, I learned about the law of attraction, and of course right away I was very into it, and I believed it, and there was studies done, and if you watch the movie, there were actual studies and different ways that they explain it to you and the concept. Okay, so if you haven't watched it, go and do that. If you haven't watched it, or if you prefer to read the book, you can read the book. I believe there's actually a second movie that's come out now. I haven't watched that. But, I mean, law of attraction is all over YouTube, all over the internet. You can learn it anywhere. But if you haven't already, I would suggest going and learning about it. So basically, I will give you a quick summary of what it is. But it is the universal law of attraction. So it basically says like attracts like. And for me, I understand it almost in a quantum level, a quantum physics level. You can also learn about that, and how we have infinite options and potential. And we are constantly choosing a series of events or a series of choices. And we are doing this on autopilot. We are doing this without even realizing. So with our thoughts, we are doing this. We are really coming together with the universe and creating our life circumstances in our lives. okay? And you might be like, well, Andrea, how can that be? What does that mean? Like, so if I grew up, in poverty or with alcoholic parents or abused as a child, does that mean I chose that? No, that's not what I mean. There are certain things in life that, especially as a child, you grew up in what your parents were creating for you, right? Like that was their mindset and their thoughts that created that world for you. Yes, there are certain things that you were also creating, but a lot of that had to do with other people around you. And that's why they say it's so important that when we're adults and when we're even teenagers, that you're choosing the right people to be around and the right energy to be around. Because if you're hanging out with negative people, you're gonna get negative results. So this is where my story of how the law of attraction played a big part in ruining my earlier years. And that started off with my mom's mentality and my mom not realizing that her suffering and her dwelling in her suffering and her alcoholism was causing us more grief and chaos and sadness in our lives. But also me as a teenager and then into my 20s, I was so stuck in victim mentality because I didn't know how to process all the trauma I had gone through as a child and as a teenager. I had gone through a lot of trauma and I was so angry as a teenager. I was so angry. I remember I actually have see how there's my knuckle in the one area is a lot more protruded? That's because I basically, it's sad to say and it's kind of crazy, but I used to punch metal poles. Like I used to leave my house and I used to be so angry. I used to punch metal poles, like light poles, lamp poles outside. As a teenager, that's how angry and frustrated I was as a teenager. I didn't know how to express myself. So that, and then got into drugs and got into the wrong crowds and things like that. So starting my teenagehood and my adulthood already on the wrong foot. And yeah, you could say, well, it has nothing to do with law of attraction. When you hang out with the wrong people, like bad things are bound to happen. If you dabble with drugs, bad things are bound to happen. But it's not just that. That's like at a surface level, yes. But what I'm saying is, not only that, but just being in that mindset and being stuck in that negative mindset, I was attracting more bad things happening. There was more to it, and that might seem hard to believe, but I know this to be true, and the only reason why I'm so passionate about this and the only reason why I'm on here right now sharing this story is because I have proof that this is true, because I've used the law of attraction in the opposite way. So a lot of people, when they learn about the law of attraction, they right away jump on the bandwagon and they want to attract positive things into their life, right? But the one thing that we tend to forget is that it's not just, whenever I want to use law of attraction, I'm just going to use it and I'm going to call on my magic powers of attracting what I want. You have to understand that the law of attraction is playing in your life 24/7. Well, minus when you're sleeping, but the law of attraction is at play all the time, whether you're trying to use it to your benefit or not. And that's where we kind of, the misconception comes in, okay? It's not just something that only works for people that know about it or only works for you if you're applying it to your life. It is always at play. It's always been at play, whether you knew it or not, whether you knew about it or not, whether you're just learning about it or not. Law of attraction is a universal law for everyone. It's at play all the time. So, if you've ever started your day off bad and you couldn't find your keys and you're panicking and it was just like that kind of threw off your whole day. Did you notice that when you drove to work, you got, you stopped at many red lights and you're even more frustrated, and by the time you got to work, something else went wrong, and like you can kind of see your whole day spiraling out of control. That is the law of attraction. That's just on a daily level. But if you think about it in a bigger, more meaningful lifetime level, it can make huge impacts on your life. All right. And the law of attraction, I feel, before I knew about the law of attraction, before I was able to apply the law of attraction to benefit me in a positive way, it ruined my life in the sense that I was attracting only negative because I was so stuck in my negative mentality. And again, I'm not blaming myself and I'm not hard on myself about this, because now that I'm older and I know better, it's different. But I was stuck in that teenage anger and depression and anxiety brain for most of my 20s because I didn't know how to get out of it, you know? But because I was stuck in that, I was constantly attracting those same scenarios. It was a vicious cycle. I was constantly attracting negative things, and I can't even tell you how many crazy, horrible things have happened to me in my life. And I'm not blaming it all on law of attraction. Of course, it's where I'm putting myself and the situations I put myself in, or the people that I was hanging out with and things like that. But the law of attraction has a big, big part in this. All right? And yes, I did learn about the law of attraction in my early 20s or like late teens, but the problem was I could not really apply the law of attraction to my life because I wasn't ready. So another big thing is you have to be ready. Your mindset has to be ready. If you're stuck in victim mentality, how in the hell are you going to keep a positive mindset so that you can attract more positive? It's just not possible. So to really apply the law of attraction, it requires some inner work. It requires inner work. It requires you to be in a good place in your heart, in your mind, and you can't just push all of the negative stuff aside and be like, yeah, I'm all positive now, woohoo, I'm just going to attract all the great things. You know, yeah, you do kind of have to fake it until you make it at the beginning, but you also have to do the inner work, because I tried that and it would last for a couple weeks and then it would go away, because that lingering inner shadows and inner demons were still lingering around and hanging around. So it wasn't until I got sober, until I dealt with my traumas, until I worked on self-love and worked on my shame and guilt and forgiving myself. It wasn't until all of that I could really, really start to apply the law of attraction. And that is why in my 20s were a shit show, you know. I lost an ex-boyfriend to suicide. I was in active addiction, and I lost a lot of jobs because of it. I actually lost quite a few friends in my 20s, and some other really bad traumatic things also happened that I won't touch base on right now. But I definitely see there was like a cycle, like with relationships. I was constantly going through like crappy relationships, and I was constantly trying to do better, but then ended up right back in the same spot. And this was a big part of it, was that the law of attraction was working against me because I was not in a positive mindset. So the first time that I really noticed the law of attraction working for me, and that I proved that it really did work, was a few years ago. And this was right after the first time I had gotten sober, after coming home from rehab. No, I hadn't had a job, okay? So I was jobless, and I was thinking, okay, I have a goal of I want to make $3,000 a month. I'm going to set that goal. I want to make $3,000 a month. That was my goal. So what I would do was before, or every night when I went to bed, I would close my eyes and I would literally, until I fell asleep, I would imagine like $3,000 being handed to me, and like I would picture like $3,000 check. And I didn't have like a specific detailed way as to how I was going to get that $3,000. I'd always imagine just getting paid that and then like kind of picture like every month $3,000 coming to me. And because it's such a specific amount, this is how I know that it must have like been this, that, and literally a couple months later I had found 2 jobs. So 1 full-time job and 1 part-time job. And guess what the income put together with the 2 jobs were? $3,000. Not anything less and not anything more. It was exactly $3,000. And this is when I knew law of attraction could really work for me. I just had to make sure that I was in a good frame of mind, and I had to apply the techniques daily. Alright guys, sorry about that. I had to cut the video short. Right after I told my story, I realized, oh my gosh, I have to be at work, so I had to turn off the recording, and so now I'm at work. It's Friday, I'm on my lunch, and I wanted to finish off what I was trying to tell you about my experience with the law of attraction and why I do believe that it does play a role in each and every one of our lives. So I left off with telling you the story about the first time that I really noticed the law of attraction working in my benefit, for my benefit. And that was the story where I was able to manifest making the exact amount of $3,000 a month. That's not a lot of money, so it's not like a get rich quick like scheme or anything like that. What I'm trying to say is that I focused my attention on making $3,000 a month. That was my initial goal. So the way that I was able to manifest that was by focusing on it, focusing my attention on it, but like more so than just like thinking about it, it's really about a feeling. So I would close my eyes and I would really, really feel like I was earning $3,000 a month, like how it would feel if someone handed me a $3,000 check every month. And at that time I didn't have a job, so $3,000 to me was a lot of money. So that's the big thing with law of attraction, is you want to be able to feel the way that you would feel if your life was going in the way that you want and how you want to manifest. So anyways, I'm not going to get into how to use the law of attraction. I might make another video about that, so comment below if that's something that you'd be interested in. I can walk you through some of the ways that I implement and manifest in my life. But this video in particular is more so just letting you know how it affected my life negatively until I decided to start using it for my benefit. And like I had mentioned, I knew about law of attraction for over a decade before I even started to really apply it. Like I said, after I had done the inner work, after I got sober, you know, once I was ready to allow in some positive, you know, energy, and able to really focus and believe that I was worthy of getting what I want out of life. Because before when I was in the victim mentality, I was stuck thinking that I had the worst luck in the whole world. I don't know how many times or how many people I had said to, I literally have the worst luck in the world. I do, I just tend to have the worst luck. That's all I would talk about. But once I dropped that story and decided to be open and willing to accept the positive good luck into my life and really believe it and start to feel it and really change the stories in my mind, that's when the law of attraction started working for me, and I am a believer. Another thing that I want to mention is the law of attraction is not an excuse not to work hard or not to go after things that you want, or to work hard. It's just not like that. That's not how it works. You don't just imagine it and then it appears. No, you actually have. I still had to put out those resumes. I had to go to those job interviews. I had to get the job. That's all me. I had to do the work. But what did work was that I manifested and I got the jobs that accumulated to the amount of money that I wanted. So that's how it works. It really just helps it all come together, and it puts the right opportunities in front of you. It can help introduce people into your life that might benefit you and your mission and what you're trying to accomplish and what you're trying to manifest, right? But you still have to work towards it. So if you have a specific goal or a specific dream that you're trying to manifest, you still have to put in the work. It is no excuse. It's not a magic remedy or pill. You still have to put in the work. And the other big thing is, it doesn't mean that because the law of attraction is always at work, doesn't mean that you have asked for all the bad things that have happened to you in your life. No, that's not what it means. Because again, like I previously mentioned, there's a bunch of energy and other people's energies and other people's mindsets that are playing into your reality. You're not just alone in your own little reality. It's a bunch of realities meshing together. So again, watch who you surround yourself with. And I mean, we can't choose our family and things like that. So, and where we're born, what we're born into, and the house that we grew up in. So again, not your fault. It doesn't mean that you have manifested every negative thing that happened to you. It just means that now as an adult, you have more control than you think. And the biggest thing that we have control over is our mindset and how we choose to react to certain things, right? So when you lose your keys in the morning and you can't find them, instead of freaking out and panicking and letting it ruin your day and dwelling on it and then getting to work and then telling all your coworkers about it and just letting it get past the normal point, instead, take a deep breath. Trace back where you might have left them in the last time you saw your keys. Take another deep breath. Go look where you think you might have left them. And once you find them, or whether you find them or not, remember, this is just a tiny little, tiny blip in your day. It shouldn't even faze you. Don't let it ruin your whole day. Don't let it shift your energy negatively for the rest of the day, because sometimes when we let a whole day get ruined, oftentimes we will look back and it ends up being an entire week. We don't want to throw an entire week of possibilities and opportunities and really just happy, positive moments in a happy week for one silly situation that could have been averted. I did that. I did that for all of my 20s. So I highly recommend against it. Anyways, guys, so that's just one story that I'm going to share with you regarding the law of attraction for now, just to kind of give you an idea of when I kind of realized that it really, really does work if you apply it correctly and if you have the right mindset. And then also how it can negatively affect you. I'm choosing to share my story with you today because I am hoping that this can reach someone in time before they waste their 20s or 30s or entire life not knowing that they're stuck in a vicious cycle, and the law of attraction could really be playing a part in keeping you stuck in this negative life cycle. So if you're finding that the same things are happening over and over and over again, there's probably a few things playing a role in that, like limiting beliefs and a negative, mindset, victim mindset. But another big one is LOA, law of attraction. It's all about the energy, baby. So I hope that this reaches someone in time so that they can prevent wasting many years like I did. And if you have any other questions about this, please do not hesitate to contact me. My name is Andrea Clement. I'm always here to help. If you like this video and you want to learn more about personal development, law of attraction, limiting beliefs, and just how as women we can be empowered to live our very best lives, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit the little bell icon down below so that you can be notified when I upload new videos.